Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a new reoccurring segment that we're going to be having on this podcast.
With reoccurring guests.
Dude, I had this all planned out, and it was really good. I went to the bathroom, and I was thinking about it in my head. I was going to say, welcome back to the podcast. We have a new reoccurring segment on the podcast, and what better with a reoccurring segment than a reoccurring guest? Breech is on the show. Breech, how's it going?
Oh, I feel like the third wheel on this podcast. I'm loving every minute of it.
I think Breech kind of takes over and just starts running.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Breech. When people see Breech, they know it's going to be a good podcast. And a few minutes ago, we were here watching Dynamite on this Wednesday night. And I was thinking, I was like, man, I should have bought these Zack Ryder figures, the ones with the Internet Championship, when I saw it. And I said, that should be a new podcast where it's called I Should Have Bought It When I Saw It. That's what we're doing today. We're going through thinking about things that we probably should have bought when we saw. And I'm going to throw it out there real quick, starting with me, because I want to forget about this very fast. The Money in the Bank 2011 event CM Punk shirt. Okay, next topic.
I regret not buying those Punk figures because I'm like, there's so many Punk stuff coming up all at once at the time because he was so hot. It was just like there's going to be more. Like, you didn't expect him to leave in 2014, so it's like there's always going to be more stuff. I could pick and choose what I want. For some reason, I didn't get anything because I was on an Undertaker tip at a time, and I was just buying his WrestleMania ones. Then I eventually stopped, and I was like, I should have kept buying the Undertaker Elites and the Undertaker WrestleMania exclusives and some of the ringside stuff, and now they're just so hard to find. Oh, I also regret not buying any of those Kane ringside collectibles because those things are like rare gems. Those things go for $100, $200, $300.
Well, yeah, speaking of ringside collectibles, when you're talking about the Punk stuff, the two things that come to mind are one, the SCS Straight Edge Society with the mask, and
that
then
thing
also
the rarest elite out of all the elites, out of all wrestling figures, of our time of the 2010s. That's the rarest figure to buy.
And also the CM Punk with the ECW. I don't know how much that goes for. But I just know that was a ringside exclusive. It came with the ECW title.
And I go for about $100.
Okay,
it's expensive, but it's not it's reachable, I guess.
And Punk figures in general, when he left, in January, and then later in the year, I would go to Toys R Us, and they would have all those figures of CM Punk with the urn. They would have him with the microphone. They would have him in the sweatshirt jacket. I mean, what the heck was I doing?
What? All the people trying to get rid of their Punk stuff because he was a quieter at the time.
Yeah,
he just scooped it all up. And all of a sudden, he made that podcast, and everything skyrocketed back to normal.
They were mad that they bought his house, and he was a quieter, and they were like, man, I need to sell all this stuff. And me wishing I just would have bought all that stuff. It's kind of like the stock market. Breech. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you wish you bought something that you saw?
You guys are going after figures and stuff like that you wish you would have bought. I have two very dumb things that I wish I would have bought, and I really only want them just to sit on the shelf because they bring back good memories to me, and they both are about trips that I've done. The first one, I looked it up and I couldn't, and Google doesn't even know what I'm talking about, but they sold them on Shop too, but WWE Summerslam 2010 fedora hats.
Oh my God, those stupid hats
of The Miz. I remember they were even on clearance for the longest time, and then by the time I tried to get one, I was able to order it, but then it didn't come in the box because they sold out, and I was not able to get the fedora hat. But that's something that I wish I had. I know I would never wear that to the mall. I would never wear it even riding around in the car. But just if I could sit down on the top of my shelf and look at it every once in a while, that'd make me smile.
It's funny. I looked up WWE Summerslam Fedora on Twitter, and someone in July 27th, 2010, DMH is his Twitter handle. He's verified. He's a freelance journalist in Philly. He says the WWE is selling a SummerSlam fedora. For some reason, I find this hilarious. And he puts the link, but the link doesn't work anymore. So someone was on your side with that because obviously someone, found that funny as well.
Yeah. So. Oh, I see him. Yeah, I'm gonna give him.
Oh, Breach, that Nexus Punk one was good too. I wish I had that one. I have the best in the world one, but I wish I had the one with the Nexus arm band.
Should have bought them all. We should have kept them.
That's nuts, dude.
I don't know why we didn't.
And then I think Justin owns this. I really think Justin has it. And if he does, maybe we can work out a trade for a certain Undertaker Pro. But at WrestleMania 30, I was not able to acquire the Jester Hat.
Oh, Breach.
Yeah.
I'll put that to your house tomorrow. Undertaker figure.
That is the stupidest thing of all time, but I think it would be the coolest thing to have. Whatever they were charging for it, $20, $30.
It was $30, and that thing couldn't fit any of our heads except Jared barely got it on his head. We saw that picture.
I remember Ravi coming back from the store the first time. I think it was the night he went to Access, and he came back wearing that Undertaker mask. Oh, I'm sorry, the Ultimate Warrior mask. And I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Oh, I also regret not collecting defining moments when they were out. I thought they were too expensive at the time. $35 for figures. With tax, it was like $40 here. I'm like, why do I want to spend $40 on these things? Like, they're just gonna sit there. And I regret not buying any of them or all.
I wish I would have bought. I wish I would have bought the other three because I have the Shawn Michaels one, but there was like the Macho Man and the Ultimate Warrior one that I wish I would have like gotten as well. So that would have been a big thing.
I remember the defining moments only being 20, maybe 25. I don't think I would have bought a figure that cost that much.
You have them?
The defining moments?
Yeah.
I've got Macho. We've talked about this.
Oh yeah.
I've got Macho Man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hogan. I ran out of steam. I've got more. Shawn Michaels one with the white coat. I bought that one for Ravi, and I mailed it to him because he couldn't find it or something like that.
So going back to going down a Funko Pop like run for me. There was a everybody knows the story of GoHastings.com Wrestle Center where Breach would buy, a million things from Hastings and he would like pretend like it was a sponsorship. Anyway, when I moved to Kansas, they had an actual brick and mortar Hastings store in my town. And I would go there legitimately once a week, maybe sometimes twice a week. Because they had like DVDs, music, like figures and stuff. And they had, when they were going out of business, they had 1 million Funko Pops. And they had all these Breaking Bad ones. They had mostly Walter White and mostly Gus Fring, but they still had them. And now they like are hard to find. Like they're out of print, obviously. I don't think they go for like ridiculous prices, but still the fact that I don't have them and they go for like $40 is still kind of bums me out that I didn't get them back then. Same with the Parks and Rec figures. I wish I would have got those.
I got one. DVD collector. I have pretty much almost every DVD from up until 2014. Those Hell in a Cell limited edition boxes with like the Undertaker bust and a Kane bust. And like at the time, people were finding them for like cheap. And I'm like, I could like tell someone like, hey, well, buy that for me and ship it to me. I'll pay you. And like I didn't bother doing it. And now they're like so hard to find.
Dude, when I think of those, I think of Gemini's videos because they would always be in the background of Gemini's videos.
Everybody had the Kane.
I feel like I saw those in FYE, but I just never like wanted to buy it because I had that DVD. So I was like, why do I need to buy this?
That was exclusive. And I think at one point they clearanced them out for $10. And
they did. Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
So yeah, I regret not buying them, and I regret like not having them because those are two my faves. And it's like, why don't I own those?
Does the coffin go for a lot? The wooden coffin, the Undertaker street coffin?
Oh, I don't know.
I've got one.
I bought that for $10, I think, at Hastings. Oh, look at that, $60 from Canada. Here's $100 sealed.
Mine's still
goes
sealed.
For $30.
I didn't open mine because it's the same thing as the other thing on the inside. It just doesn't have a box.
Yeah, maybe I should have kept it sealed. Yeah, it goes for like 60 something. I bought this when Hastings was also going out of business because it was really cheap. I bought a lot of stuff that I have is because of Hastings because they were going out of business. Like that's how I started the Funko Pops because I got the first the Clark Griswold Funko Pop. That was my first ever one that I bought from that Hastings store. My first vinyl record was an Imagine Dragons, their first album on vinyl. It was like $10. So everything is because of Hastings. So shout out to Breech for it all goes back to Breech, but I'm trying to think of like what else, because I guess I could throw in like Devontae Graham's like rookie cards, because I used to like, I mean, those when those first came out, I bought some, but I wish I would have bought more, because at the time, even for the National, when me and Phil and the Lorenzo Bros and the Motor City Marks and Lazy Booking, when we all went to the National, like the Devontae Graham stuff was cheap. I bought a card for $10, and now it's worth like $70 to $100. So I wish I would have bought more, because nobody cared about him at the time. They only cared about Luca, and that would have been like the steal of the century. Like, that's one of my all-time like great investments is Devontae Graham. So,
Breach, you got anything else that you regret not buying that you could think of right now?
I found a tweet. Should have bought a Legend Killer shirt back in the day. Hate Orton, but cool shirt. RKO.
Don't they bring them back like every Thursday or something?
I still hate him.
I'm gonna look up my name.
I remember those WWE Legends ones, that Eddie Guerrero figure. That one's like super hard to find. I wish I bought that.
July.
What's it called?
July 26, 2010. Should have bought ROH DVDs last night. Chickened out, but we'll do tonight if still on sale.
Damn.
Okay, so here's another wish I would have bought. So I think me and Justin were talking about this, maybe on a podcast, maybe we're just talking on a Skype call. So I was going through my here's the one reason I'm glad that I uploaded, like searching for figure videos or whatever. One time I went to like a Target or something, and I filmed the cards, and they had 2012 or 2013 basketball Prism, and the Giannis rookie is in there. And at the time, those were like, $10 packs or whatever. And now those sell for like over $500. So probably should have bought that back in the
day. Who would have thought packs would be worth so much money, though?
Packs.
No one thought buy this whatever, the blaster pack of cards, and this will be worth money eventually. Like, no one's thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just open it up.
I'm trying to think.
I got one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did either one of you guys go to a TNA house show?
Never.
Yeah.
You did? Okay. TNA, they loved it that you bought a ticket to go to the show and they got your money that way. But once they got you in there, one of the things they loved to do the most, the show that I went to, Don West wasn't even there. It was the other guy. I don't remember that guy's name, but probably nobody else.
Jimmy J.
Oh, there, Jimmy J. High five. Yeah, he was the guy that was selling stuff. Don West didn't make the trip, but they would love to sell those brown bags, and they would sell anything they could to try and get more money out of your pocket for them coming and putting on a wrestling show. And they would do like autograph signings, and what they would do was like you'd go and you'd meet the wrestler, and then while you were there, they were trying to sell you an item from that wrestler. And basically there was a line I was in, and I was to meet Mickie James. And so I got her to sign my TNA program. And the deal was the autograph was free, but if you wanted a picture, you had to buy, like, at TNA, they had those like sheets, and it had like the girl's picture on it. I don't know.
Yeah. It was like a flag or something, a banner.
It was $10. All right. And I could have got Mickie James, a picture with Mickie James for $10. And I didn't buy it because at the time I felt like if I brought that thing home, my wife was going to think that I bought like a jerk rag that I was going to hang on my wall or something like that. I could have honestly just taken that sheet and handed it to some kid. Like, here, you want this? Take it. Or I could have even just walked over and thrown it in the trash. But instead, I go to WrestleMania 28 and I pay $30 to get a picture with Mickie James. I had no sense that night. It didn't make sense. So I wish that I would have bought that TNA jerk rag of Mickie James, and instead of spending the $30 at Wrestle Reunion months later.
So speaking of
Dumped
WrestleMania,
it.
what?
I should have pumped and dumped it.
There you go.
Speaking of WrestleMania, so I looked up should have bought and my name on Twitter, and the one thing that I said I should have bought was from a Breach tweet. Breach, you tweeted at WrestleMania 31 Access about those John Cena signed hats. I really wish I would have bought one of those for $50.
I feel like that too. They were cheap. I want to say that
Oh,
they were
and
$50.
yeah, they were $50. That's what you
And
tweeted.
if I walked over and grabbed the hat off the rack, I think the hat was $30.
Yeah,
Paying $20 for a Cena hat, and it even came like in a case. So it was basically like the autograph was almost free.
yeah.
Damn.
Dude,
But
that and the Triple H signed Funko Pops. Remember
I
they
have
had
I have the Triple H Funko Pop. I don't remember what I paid for it, but
the top sign. Remember?
yeah,
I wish I bought that. Dang, dude.
I think I paid $50 for it.
That's like nothing.
Yeah.
It's probably how much the figure is probably worth now or something.
Wait, hold on. What did I say here? Oh yeah. Okay, there we go. So there's this one 21 Pilots Funko Pop of one of their characters, and I said I should have bought a second one to put in my car. I was just thinking that today, because like they go for like $40 now, which I mean it's not enough, or it's too expensive for me to buy a second one. I bought it at like when it was like 15, so I was like, man, I should have bought a second one to put in my car. But I don't know, Justin, can you think of anything else? Because like I'm sure I have like a
How
million
did I
things.
think of? We'll run this back another day.
Oh, the retros, the Roman Reigns retros.
Oh, I
and
didn't
the
know
Cena
about the retro until like this year, so I can't even regret it.
Well, that's true. I wish I would have bought the Roman one and the Cena one because like I know the Roman one goes for a lot.
So yeah, there you go. We'll come back one day with a podcast of things we regret buying. Probably have like a
Ooh, no, that's gonna be a good one. Let's talk about Sheamus plaques.
month.
Oh, dude. All right. Well.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow, probably, which means we'll be recording right now after this.
Yes.
And goodbye and good night, because I'm recording this podcast and
Dang.
my phone is locked up and I need to stop recording. Bye.